You'd think I'd live on the computer. I do have a life. Seriously, I do. I'll just wait for a few people to get on. How are our ascension symptoms going? Mine are horrendous. Hi, Darry. I know you're not sleeping. I know you're awake, Darry. Good evening and good morning. I'm eating a cough lolly because my ascension symptoms are killing me. Doesn't matter where you guys are in the world, if you're not experiencing it, I'll be hugely surprised. So how many people do we have? I'm going to give you a heads up what to expect for the Lionsgate portal. I tried to do a video and it just wasn't working. I was like, Yildiz, just get on live. It's just going to be so much easier. So how many people do we have alive and awake in the world? Headaches. Yes. I was just looking at the list. You'd be so amused by some of these ascension symptoms. Happy 4th. We're feeling huge. I hope Divine Feminine's feeling hugely independent because you're going to need to be. You're at work. Hey, beat this. I live at my work. Yes, wow. If you do actually read up on the symptoms, huge ailments, really strange ailments. Hi, Dolly. Okay, are we wanting the update on the Lionsgate portal? Now, the funny thing was, I had a premonition years ago, and I was in England, you know, in Trafalgar Square, where they got the big cats, and I had this premonition of my daughter, strangely enough, and it's like I had a deja vu today, just before I decided I was going to do the Lionsgate portal video. Now, the funny thing was, it's a vision of a time frame, and there's different visions I've had over the years, but I've never really put two and two together, and maybe it was connected to me doing this video. I've had a few downloads about it, but we do actually have, not only do we have the planets retrograde, we also have, it's quite a heightened time for eclipses, which is theoretically, we're going to have the buck full moon, and we're going to have a total lunar eclipse. Now that happens the day after the Lionsgate portal opens. So the Lionsgate portal opens from the 26th, we're moving into it, all the way through to the 8th of the 8th. Now the energy is at its highest point by the 8th. But with the planets, with our ascension symptoms, with the lunar eclipse, we're changing. We're changing very rapidly. Even those who haven't directly had ascension symptoms or aren't going through that, the Kundalini awakening, they're experiencing changes. And I've visually seen this through my clientele and through people I know. So no matter where you are in the world, you may be getting ailments like throat aches, feeling sick. It can be summer, it can be winter. Regardless, you're going to be experiencing these feelings. Lots of people are experiencing aches, heightened anger. That is actually directly connected to the ascension symptoms, not only connected to your counterpart. But the funny thing is, when I discuss the release of ego, and depending on what wave you are, it is going to affect each pocket of the wave very differently. So it's not going to be every pocket of the twin collectives are going to be feeling exactly the same. They're not. They will be feeling the heightened emotions and the waves of emotions, but they're going to experience it differently. Generally speaking, around the 8th, there will be a very heavy emotion, and it will feel, it's positive if you can keep yourself grounded and you can manifest at that time, because the portal is open and you're at your highest activation point. But you're going to need to manage your energy to get to that point, to be able to manifest at that highest degree. So you really need to meditate on the 8th. try and set aside some time that you can actually do that and ground yourself and release and manifest your highest potential and possibility for your future. Anything you need to let go of, you need to let go of around that time. Otherwise, it'll be physically removed from you. So if you haven't released wounds, situations, dynamics, they will physically be removed for you. Now, I am seeing around July the 12th, feminines are going to really change. Now, I do feel you guys are going to get to a point where even if you've been on the fence connected to the control-related issues, codependency, energies of trying to steer the situation, even from a non-intentional point of view, it's almost for you guys spiritually, it'll be like a release. Now, the release is actually going to take, because masculine's energy is becoming very heavy. And it is because we're amping up through this retrograde, plus into the Lionsgate portal and the lunar eclipse. By the 12th, you guys will physically be shaken so much. You're gonna have clarity. Number one, you're gonna gain clarity. Number two, you're gonna get to the point where you're just gonna be like, okay, that last inch of it, you're just gonna be like, okay, I'm releasing. I'm just letting go now, and I'm letting everything unfold naturally. Other waves aren't gonna do it that way. They're gonna feel a bit different. They may feel quite agitated, frightened, moving back and forward with the energy, and it's going to make them feel really all over the place. So for those of them who haven't done a lot of purging connected to the aspects of codependency, they're probably going to find that energy a little bit more problematic. That's not to say any of us are going to get out of this unscathed. We're not, but it's healing, because we're gonna literally release things that no longer connect to us. We're purging it. It's a bit like when you're reading a book. You're reading through a book and you've come to this really interesting chapter, and then it's finalized, it's had that deep impact, and you're like, yes, okay, on to the next. But you've got to turn that page. So that's where we're at. We're at that turning of that page cycle where we're ready to move into the next. And it's sad because we're leaving that chapter behind, but we're moving on to a new chapter. And we don't have a choice because we want to know what's going to happen. It's kind of an ironic oxymoron, isn't it? Masculines, however, around that time may dip deeper into the dark night of the soul. So that's probably going to be around July 12th, July 10th. I can see agitation and crosswise and even altercations around that time. That's going to be heightened, but they're going to gain a lot of clarity. So if any push and pull situations directly are happening to them, they're actually going to get very frustrated. This can be with their direct or indirect environment. So people around them really feeling unhinged. But this is for a purpose, because when the feminine directly releases the energy, they're then free to directly deal with that energetic force field of what's going on around them, for them to get to the root of what directly is going on. They have done a lot of that already, but it's a bit like the sponge, that final squeeze to the point where they're getting to the point they're really digging deep and getting to the bottom of it. Now, although the Lionsgate portal opens on the 26th, on the 27th, smack bang into it, we've got the lunar eclipse. Now, that is going to last 4 hours. Longest, a very long lunar eclipse. Again, you're going to have the highs and lows during that time, which they have directly done research on eclipses and how they directly affect different species. They haven't completely, that'd be right. My battery is going to die. They haven't completely got the evidence to the point where it totally says that humans are affected by it. But they have actually noticed with particular birds and species, they actually do. I'm just going to plug you guys in. So organised, not. Bear with me. Rome wasn't built in a day. The Lionsgate portal will make us, though. Okay. Let's hope that stays. I've got my notes. Okay, so during the lunar eclipse, what do you have? A bunker? You'll be like, yeah, I'll be fine. I'm going to be fine. Look, it is going to be a mass purge. That's what you got to understand. You're going to have the highs and lows. We still have the retrograde. A lot of us are going to go inside. So when you guys actually release those feminines, you release the situation. What you'll directly find is energetically the masculines are going to go into, you know, a bit of a dip. And during that time, it's giving them the opportunity to be a bit like the Phoenix rising, and it will be almost like they're physically coming out of that aspect and releasing things. So this can be a very good time for them to release any aspects that no longer serve them. And if they physically don't, again, it will be removed for them for their higher good. And that's just naturally going to come about during that pocket of time. I have actually been shown the Two of Cups. Now, in the video I was trying to make, there is actually the coil of DNA in between, you know, the traditional tarot where, you know, the medical symbol. It's in the middle. And this is the aspect of the Kundalini awakening, the ascension. I'm also being shown there's going to be an aspect of adversity. Now, when masculine does come to the place where they're physically, spiritually, you know, they've been doing the work, trust me, but getting to the point where they're releasing anything that they spiritually feel no longer serves them in their personal life, I do feel there is an aspect of someone trying to stop them, and it might get a bit messy. That's what I'm being shown. Because in several images that I've been seeing, yes, the Kundalini and the DNA activation, you know, through the chakras and the spinal cord is theoretically the snake, but it's also something to do with family or mother. Yeah, I'm feeling like DNA related. It feels DNA related drama. But it does feel quite toxic as well. So there is like a push and pull, and there might be altercations around this time, because it does feel almost like, yes, the Phoenix is rising, but it feels like there's actually altercations directly connected to that. But there is going to be a huge shift. Past that point, it eases up. But moving through, anywhere from now to the 12th, which increases in impact, moving through is very heavy. Feminines are really going to get to the point where you are going, you know, into your soul and releasing the aspect of the ego. I also see severe weather during that time. Definite shifts in direction. So for some of you, it's going to pivot you forward regardless, be it you want to or not. It's changing things. But if you can physically try and get grounded during that time. Hi, love. How are you? It's going to help. Let's see what else we're getting. Yeah, I best be having my bunker for the readings. I'll be like in a cave. Yes, hello. I'll be with Sula in a cave drinking pina coladas, okay? I'll be on dial. Wow, okay. Okay, so for the masculines, I'm being seen that they're looking at the situation and they're literally, yeah, you can come down. We'll get some bubble wrap, we'll be fine. Pina colada out of a straw. Good morning, good evening. Okay, so I feel that there's going to be ends of cycles, and this was exactly what I was saying. It's like it will be a massive turnaround in their life. Hello. Massive turnaround in their life. They're not going to be happy with what's going on, but they're physically wanting it. It's almost like a total release. And again, it almost looks like the Phoenix rising. See? It's like, you know, all the things that no longer serve them, us, spiritually, although it is divinely guided, it is about their life as well. Your life, their life, their life, okay? For them to spiritually come home to themselves. for them to be on their new chapter, their correct chapter, where they're supposed to be, divinely guided. Now, they may not have the clarity, but intuitively speaking, they're going to have that insight. They won't care. It's almost like it's such suppressed energy. Again, Lionsgate portal. So by the 8th and the full moon, so I'm seeing maybe the new moon, which will be considered the blood moon, or the buck full moon, whatever you'd like to call it. I feel as though this time frame is crucial for them to get to a point where they're really following their gut. And that I'm seeing is when feminine has already released to a point where she is to the point she's exhausted. So, you know, it's a bit like when you're sick. You physically, all you're doing is the necessary. Drink water, rest, recover, release, okay? Hey, Dari. So this is what's going on. And again, look, like the Lionsgate portal, clarity, full moon, female, feminine, releasing, release, let it go. Anything that doesn't serve you, let it go. It is emotional. We might not see what's coming, but we're just going to let it go. The situations we're letting go of is anything that is nasty, manipulative, controlling, suppressive energy. Anywhere we physically, spiritually have been suppressed, masculine, feminine, or collective, are going to be releasing these aspects. They no longer serve us. We have allowed those energies spiritually to suppress us, and that's collectively. And during this time, it's the healing, similar to Chiron, where they're saying, hey, hang on a minute, there's that little thing down there that's telling you you can't have what you want. And it may be painful to move through that energy, but it's necessary. It's necessary to remove it because it's suppressing your life. It's preventing your life. Emotions will be heightened, you know, and it may impact your security. You may have to be private about this, but it may come blurting out because it's been held too long. So try and hold. Oh, don't even start. And it's not for the reasons you think. My throat is terrible. I don't even drink. I was like, do I try the Baileys? That's not working. If I had Scotch on the rocks, maybe it'll, you know, the old, you know, old wives' tale with, you know, a spoonful of shit. It's just not working. I've tried the lozenges. That's not working either. Okay. The release of this is going to be the hope in it because there is room for that. But it is going to, the funny thing is, okay, in a romantic sense, anything that you're spiritually not wanting, that you don't love, let go of it. If it doesn't serve you, let go of it. Any questions? Yes, we will be looking at what we've been reaping. What we've sowed is what we will reap. It is a karmic cycle. We know this. So we will be addressing those things. Power's probably going to go off and then all I'll have is like my telephone credit, which is 0. So otherwise, good luck with the reading. Okay, so whatever we've planted in a sense, and this is the masculine's energy, but we energetically do hold masculine energy as well. So spiritually speaking, we're going to be, it's similar to the dark night of the soul, but we'll be really reflective on what we have created in our life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we'll be looking at it. It's a karmic time. Feminines, what are you guys going to be feeling? Oh. About what I thought. Okay, you'll be manifesting away. Nice to see. Mind, bravery, stress. Moving into it, this is what will push you to release. Because it will get too much and you'll go, right, I'm not What was I saying in the other video? I was talking about the rapids, okay? Do we go with the rapids or against the rapids and make it worse, okay? Now, no, we're going to just go with it. You're going to have to be brave, but we're not going to fight against what's going to happen regardless, okay? So just go with it. If you need help, book a reading. Go with the energy. No, it's not going to be nice. I'm not going to lie to you, but it will be, because we will be better. Strength. Lionsgate portal, yet again. But who's on the throne? Who's taming it? Without control, without codependency, okay? Yes, letting go. Let go, surrender. It is part of your destiny. Release it. This will, again, as I said, it's going to depend on the wave of twins. The older the wave, and when I say the older, the first wave, you'll know, because if you're at that point where you're like, I'm letting it go, that is your wave. That's the wave of which one right now is going to experience this energy, because you're able to release. But every wave will release an aspect. It may not definitely be the energy connected to, you know, what's masculine doing, but it definitely will be a release in some aspect, okay, regardless of what wave you are. Now, you're going to be reflecting on all the terrible things that have happened to you. Like I said to you, the dark night of the soul energy coming up. Try and tune out of that. But if it has to come up, it's necessary, and it's a purge. This is what I'm saying. It's not going to feel nice, but it will be, because it's like flushing a toilet. That's the only way I can say it, because it will be the release of it. Because you'll get so tired, you'll have that release, and it'll be like, right, out with the old. We're going on to that new chapter now. We're closing that book. We are on series 2, series 3, okay? We moved past that. Because look what you're manifesting, okay? You're manifesting. You're manifesting. That's what's coming. That's what you got your goal and your eye set on, okay? But you got to get through this month to be grounded enough to do that, okay? So just try and stay grounded. No, I still haven't done the twin videos, but I will be. I was going to do collective energy for each element, but my phone's flat, so I probably won't do it tonight, and it is 11:36. Any questions about the Lionsgate portal, even though I'm terrible at pronouncing it? Any questions? I do see adversity around the masculine, though, but I do see them actually being very strict with it, saying, no, no more. Let me do what I need to do in my life. 26. But the energies will be amping up from the 12th, in my belief. From the 10th through to the 12th, amping up. Because the moons are connecting in with that energy. So it's almost like a warp. And you'll have more, the ascension symptoms will become accelerated. And they will ease up. So it's like you're going to have the flu, as well as your purging, as well as your emotional, and then you start a new chapter. Does that make sense? And you're like, yeah, thanks, Yildiz. Yay. Any questions? So what's the main reason? It's where the planets are. So what you find is the energy, where they line up, there is a frequency where the energy pulls. It's a bit like the ocean. When you think of the ocean, the tide goes in and out, right? It directly affects the growing of plants. Generally speaking, if you plant something of a full moon, the water underneath the actual soil rises to the top. So it's the best possible time to plant vegetables, to plant trees. And it's the same with our blood. Our blood changes and the flow within our biorhythms change with the moon, with the planets as well. That's sort of what's happening. So we're having a realignment connected to it. We're changing. So it's heightened, and, you know, theoretically, on a spiritual level, telepathically, energetically, because we all are energy, we will feel that energy heightened. If that makes sense. Try and keep as light as possible and really be open to releasing around the 8th. You know, try and, literally succumb to it. Get to a point where you're just releasing and you're letting it out, whatever it is, but try and stay light in energy. Are we going Abraham Hicks style, away from the racket and fighting it, or are we just going to get there quick? Let's just go with it. Let's just be kinder to ourselves. Any questions? Oh, we all have to be a little bit crazy. Come on, guts over steel. We can do this. That's okay, Derry. I love you, honey. A lot of our ups and downs at the moment are causing some grief in some of the waves of twins. So have there been any emotional triggers that the twins have been experiencing? Masculine or feminine? What do I have? Is it like, what do we go here? I mean, I'm going with it, but no, I'm trying to work with it. Cool. It can be a shake-up around this time as well. Can be a shake-up. Real shake-up. But it's a necessary shake-up. It's releasing things that aren't working. And it's on both sides. Try not to worry too much about the communication, love, because a lot of the masculines are going through great changes, great spiritual and emotional changes. They've got a lot of things that they're trying to organize, sort, collective, and, you know, the energy, their energy is changing. I mean, look at us just emotionally speaking as feminines. Masculines almost go through several aspects of the dark night of the soul. So it's because they've got that aspect of shutting it down. I don't know how they do it, but they do. And then it comes back again. Yeah, well, a lot of people are feeling, even people that are sick are feeling more sick, but moving through this energy, it should ease up. Regardless of where their health is at, like, it'll look worse, but it will ease up. Yes, I have spoken to a few masculines that are, but the feminines have had the bounce of that as well, where it's been anger out of nowhere. That's collective energy. How do you confirm telepathy? That's an interesting one. I guess I do it so often that. What do you want to communicate? In what way? I have to really think about that now. Look, it can be different ways. You can telepathically request for something and you can test that theory out. I mean, if they don't want to be in contact with you, even if you do say, I want you to call me, if it's not a good time, it's not a good time. Now, telepathically speaking, you can communicate and you can ask the universe to give you a sign. And that can be your external source of confirmation that message has been received. Hello, Jen. Jen, look where I'm at. Is it the wine girl or is it the like lozenge? Because like my throat's killing me. Wine. I tried the Baileys, it's not working. And then I thought about scotch. I don't drink, honestly. Love it. Well, hey, we're talking about the Lionsgate portal, so we need to have one drink. Just one. I'll be good. Hey, Libran. I've tried the salt water. I've tried antihistamine. I just have to go with the rapid and accept that I have ascension symptoms. So how has everyone's vibration been connected to their day? Or their twin? Have we checked our frequency? Yes, ascension symptoms, Darry. I'm just looking at some of them here. Where should we start? Intense body heat, hot flushes, cold flushes, inner cold spots, certain chakra areas turning cold or hot. Have a mud foot bath. Yeah. Well, I probably had 2 hours sleep. Yeah, I've only had 2 hours sleep in the last 48 hours. I got quite a lot done. Massive purge that, well, I can't say the night before because theoretically I didn't sleep, but yes, massive purge, and then it helped me get grounded actually. I cleared my house, I cleared my chakras, I got grounded, I drank plenty of fluid, had my purge and moved along. I actually had to have a sleep during the day prior to me staying awake and only having 2 hours sleep because and that is an aspect of the ascension symptoms, the Kundalini awakening, is that you can go from, you wake up, you've had a whole night's sleep and suddenly you feel very tired and bang, you feel like you're out cold. It's a bit like a diabetic sugar rush thing. But you need to, if you need to sleep because you're activating, you're changing. You're spiritually changing, so it's going to impact your energy. It's like going on a hike and then you're exhausted. It has been super challenging to do that. Some of us are getting a bit better in a sense that we're only like we're going into it sort of thing, and then it's like, okay, we realize and we can talk about it and we can move forward from it, and then it comes again. It might be 1 or 2 days later. Other times it's for a week, but I've noticed personally we're going in and we're jumping back out again. So it's not the way it used to be, but moving out of this time frame, July is going to help us move through that. This is not how do I put it? The purging as per se is also directly connected to the Ascension Kundalini. So it's going to ease up. Just be kind to yourself. And don't be surprised if you get very vague and you're like, well, yeah, that's part of it too. Missing time. Yes. Any questions before I go? Hi. So there you go. Yeah, maybe. Oh, joy. That sounds horrible. Anyway, try and keep grounded. If you need to go back and you need to look at the beginning of the video, you can after. And it gives some times and dates. Yeah, just try and keep neutral to it, because with the retrograde on top of the Lionsgate portal and the eclipse, be mindful of your surroundings. You know, don't be going anywhere and thinking that, you know, be mindful of your surroundings, because people's energy is really up and down, and it can come from crosswires and aggressive. I was sitting at the front having a smoke last night, and this car just stopped in the middle of the road and they're screaming at each other, and I'm like, retrograde, nice. So yeah, just be mindful, be careful, try and keep grounded, keep out of people's way. That's okay, Christy, look after yourself. Lots of fluid. The ascension is making us very dehydrated. So, and that's going to affect the fatigue, the bones, your cognitive ability. So try and keep the fluid up as much as possible. I've been drinking organic herbal teas and obviously honey and lemon tea. I'm trying wine. It's not really working, and I'll probably go back to hot water later. Anytime, Christy. I just need to accept that it's going to be sore, and I'm getting better. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Manifestation. Lots of water. That's okay, Sunflower Girl. Okay, be all kind to yourselves. Get prepared. Otherwise, I will put the link to the website underneath, and if you're needing a booking, you can come through. But look after yourselves, guys. Bye.